101 Strategic Job Search Marketing Steps, the helpful checklist guide to all things considered workforce readiness and social media smart. Written by Lenora M. Johnson, CPRW. Narrated by Caroline Miller. The dedication reads, "Thanks to my children, Melissa, Marquita, Vincent, and Brianna, and my grandchildren, Zaire and Emily, who bore through the rough times to get this book written when I should have gotten a job. While completing this book, I remembered my writing is my job. The excitement of writing, editing, and getting this book published was a constant reminder of my writing passion." Acknowledgements. Thanks to my parents, Elizabeth and James, for equipping me with the tools of life which have made the writing of this book possible. Big Jim, I love you, Pops. You encouraged and loved me throughout my life, and there is no me without you. I love you to my brother James Jr. Sorry, I'm only human too. And a special thanks to Aunt Dolores for your help and your auntie-sister-girl Queen Bee talks. They are not in vain nor lent on deaf ears. A special thanks to Mrs. Frances Herford for helping me with my millennial child. I made it.
Hey everyone, this is Lenora. Let me tell you about Anchor podcasting. I've been on other websites, other podcast companies and platforms, and they are nothing compared to Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Go ahead, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I've already did it.
Forward. I can begin this book by telling you how many unemployed job seekers there are in America. But instead, I will cut straight to the chase. You will find the meat you need to complete a successful job hunt within this audiobook. This guide is created just for you, and by now you should have determined that the product or service throughout the course of your searching for employment is you. Changing your mindset to view yourself as a human product and service in need of branding and marketing, as does a business, is an important process to landing employment. It is the very purpose of this job readiness guide, to help you realize the emphasis of who you are and what your value is. The audiobook's content helps to introduce and compare the similarities of the marketing of humans to tangible or non-tangible products or services. Listening further and answering the following questions will help to explain. What prompts you to purchase goods and services that you and your family consume? Is it the packaging? Is it the advertisement that you saw on television, heard while viewing a YouTube video, or have read in a flyer? Do you read the ingredients of the product or just compare the benefits before buying it? What value does the product or service offer? Will or does the service or product add satisfaction to you using it? A company selects and hires job candidates based on the same elements that you select when making a buying decision. You, in return, do the same thing before making a purchase or product or service comparison. Any way you look at it, it's one big cycle of satisfying needs, wants, and desires. As a job seeker, you have the very same responsibility to market yourself to a company, employer, hiring manager, headhunter, or anyone else in need of your knowledge, skills, and abilities for their benefit. And of course, you are looking to get paid, and paid well, for the duties you are to perform. How well you market yourself on your resume, at a job interview, and while performing your duties will determine how well you negotiate and bargain for your salary, promotions, and other employee benefits. How do you market yourself to organizations recruiting and hiring job seekers for their benefit? I'll tell you. You have to create a strategic marketing plan and stick to it. You also have to create eye-catching job search marketing tools and a flawless presentation of interview skills. If you are stuck and need to brush up on your resume crafting and interview techniques, who better to help you to develop such a plan than a professional resume writer or career coach? Job search marketing tools. Your keyword-rich resume has to sell you and your assets. A creative, physical appearance must paint a picture of what your previous work performance and other accomplishments can do for the organization. It must also speak for your stored, unable to be seen knowledge and information inside of your brain, your hidden assets. This is your value. This is what you sell. How knowledgeable are you really when it comes to the information in your job search marketing documents? Job seekers often become complacent with matching who they are with what they should be written on their resume, especially when not the creator of their own resume and cover letter. Do you know the content of your resume? This is your package before the interviewer sees you. Do you know what industry and the duties of the title you are qualified to perform? What is your competitive advantage? When and what time will you interview? How many job applications will you submit in person, snail mail, or email, in a day or week? What are your goals for transportation? Whether you wrote your resume or not, you have to know what's in your resume. You ought to be prepared to answer an interviewer's question about who you are and what you know and have done in the past, all in a very short time frame. Have you determined your worth? If not, maybe you should. Keep in mind that because of issues with our economy, you have been added to a huge pot of diverse job seekers who are multi-talented and come from a variety of career levels, including executives, mid-management, experienced, entry-level, students, and return-to-work job seekers who may or may not possess doctorate, master, bachelor, or associate's degrees. Because of the economy, all of these lovely job seekers are trying to find the best way to get noticed by a hiring manager, forcing everyone to compete for the same position with only one talented job applicant capable of being hired for the position. In other words, there are more people looking for employment than there are jobs. Social media job searching. Wait a minute, you're not finished. Now add social media to your marketing campaign. Note, the person making the hiring decisions is now searching, recruiting, and hiring job candidates online. The decision makers are making employment decisions via the internet, including video interviewing, video resumes, LinkedIn, Twitter, and other modes of digital communications. What is social media? There are so many definitions defining what social media is. You can view Wikipedia's definition of what social media is and others' meanings of social media at your convenience. Here is Webster Dictionary's definition of what social media is. Social media is an internet-based tool with an interactive, base platform that allows the sharing of information by use of digital devices, including apps, smartphones, Androids, iOS, computers, tablets, laptops, and desktops. The devices allow for text, photos, audio, video, and individual or business information to be marketed or branded by sharing, searching, promoting, commenting, and replying to posted content. Social media provides a commonplace, social community such as a blog, newsletter, chat, or social media network to share files, post, tweet or retweet, friend or unfriend, provide a URL link, or create a feed thread to view or listen to information posted on the internet. It's a tough mountain to climb, and because it's your job search, somebody has to climb it. You. If you are not prepared, but have begun putting needed effort adjusting to changes, then you will definitely be ready to conquer a challenging job hunt, and in return, capture the reward, employment. This is the result of submitting a resume at the click of a mouse. Instantaneous change. Strategic career planning, which boils down to how strategic your presentation of assets is placed on paper, how you present your assets in person, what your internet presence consists of, how the content of your social media profile is viewed. Is this getting easier for you? In many ways, it should. Do you need an outside coach to assess your job search needs, add creativity to your resume and cover letter, or to provide critique to your job search? Can you challenge yourself to work alone, or do you need minimum to maximum outside support? There are other questions that need answers and actions. For instance, when will you actively job hunt? What are your plans for continuing education? When will you add or build upon your certifications, training, seminars, workshops, and other continuing education for the enhancement of your career? Are you interested in advancement? Further education increases your knowledge and skills. It also reduces the knowledge and skills gap between you and the other job candidates or coworkers. Millennials create a huge digital skills gap between them and other generations or age groups when it comes to usage and accomplishments of the internet. Companies are looking for knowledge and information, especially in our new digital era. Here's how a baby boomer or a Generation X job seeker or employee can decrease this gap. Simply by allowing and increasing your knowledge and information via the use of computers, smartphones, Androids, laptops, tablets, and everything else that the internet has to offer. There are many more things to be included in your job search marketing plan, which requires the same type of planning that an advertising or marketing, research and development department have to consider when creating, developing, and marketing their products or services to you. Companies know exactly what an asset is because they too are selling a product or service. In today's job market, you too have to think like a marketing manager in order to be successful with landing an interview and getting hired. Create effective job search marketing tools to be successful at your job search. Market you. Differentiate yourself from the competition. When an employer has determined that you are the job candidate they wish to hire, fruitful salary negotiations are your payoff for the knowledge and information that you bring to the table. This is when your goods and services, your assets, will be bought and compensated for with a great salary package, complete with health and life benefits, stock options, tuition compensation, entertainment, and other rewards in exchange for you. With the unemployment rate as high as it is state to state, it would be in your best interest to find out all that it takes to be competitive in this job market. Now is the time to give thought to the meaning of the resume phrase, "I am a valuable asset," or "I will be a valuable asset to your company." An awesome overall presentation of what makes you the best candidate for the job, along with your matched qualified skill set, should get you hired. Baby boomers, Generation X, and the millennials. This brings us to the effects of the baby boomers, the Generation X's, and the millennials' work habits, work ethics, and differences during a social media-driven job search and workforce environment. Are you aware of whom your job search competition consists of? Are you willing to understand and get along as a team while sharing the workforce with millennials after you have been hired, all for the common good of the organization? This is often a very difficult task for the baby boomer, the Generation X, and the millennial job seeker, because the three generations just don't see eye to eye. The irony of it all is that there is a new force, the social media-driven job search and the entire digital existence, and the fact that all three generations will have to get along for the common good of the world. A millennial, a Generation X, or a baby boomer could be your hiring manager, coworker, or competing job seeker, supervisor, or manager. Open communications amongst each other is a necessity. It's pretty much cut and dry, especially since the baby boomer is staying in the workforce longer than they should, the Generation X not leaving the workforce anytime soon, and the millennial generation entering the workforce with new and totally different ideas, a huge jumpstart on digital technology, and all eyes on them. Planning your career search takes time and effort. Using this book as a checklist to create an action plan and evaluate your results are the steps to accomplishing a strategic career job search plan. Now, press forward with zeal and tenacity. Take notes as you listen to this book. Tackle all that the internet and social media has to offer. Subsequently, you'll create a recipe for success at job hunting. Preface. To all job seekers of every industry, of every financial status, and of every educational background who have become displaced, homeless, less fortunate, or depressed because of our nation's economic downturn, you are not alone, nor are you just another job seeker. May you be the unique job seeker and candidate who makes the best impression and the greatest impact, the one job seeker that possesses hidden assets and the keen ability to market oneself within one of the toughest job markets ever, and then gets hired. I say to you, may the most informed and the most knowledgeable job seeker win. Lenora M. Johnson, CPRW, Certified Professional Resume Writer. www.bossresumes.com, www.twitter.com/bossresumes, www.linkedin.com/Lenora Johnson. Introduction. It can't get any easier. 1. Why knowing who you are during your job search, and 2. Why it is important to strategically present your personal brand, your knowledge, skills, both hard and soft, and abilities, passions, information, and work experiences, better known in the business world as your assets, and your competitive advantage to an employer, hiring manager, recruiter, headhunter, or anyone else in need of your valuable services in an immensely digital technology-driven job market. 3. Job seekers, are you ready for a strategic, social media-motivated job search? The purpose of writing this book is to share my employment search approach, my industry knowledge, and my experiences with job seekers who value a different perspective from his own. My goal is to present my point of view on today's current job search and how vigorously that search must be pursued. I would like for you to attempt to reconsider the contrasting old way and the new way of obtaining employment, the likeliness of a company's approach to business marketing to that of a job seeker's job search marketing, and to get you to think harder and to dig deeper about using the 101 strategic job search marketing steps in this book to accomplish a successful social media job search. This book will either enforce what you may already know or introduce you to what you may never have considered. It is an overall attempt to motivate you during a very stressful and very different job search. Let me share with you how I got started writing and became a business owner interested in helping others with their career planning. I am currently a young 44 years. I began working at the age of 11 since 1983. That's a total of 29 Social Security Administration documented years in the United States workforce. I worked because I wanted to work, not because I had to. I was fortunate and young. Even at a very young age and with no work experience, I wrote my own resume. I built up my interpersonal skills, my soft skills, until I had performed enough hard skill experience to add to my resume. I wrote how I was willing to learn, how a company could benefit from my professionalism, and how I could apply my customer service skills at all times to their clients, patients, and customers, if they were to hire me. Soon, I was hired. Later, I mastered resume writing and job interviewing. My mom was into technology, all kinds of technology, and the fax machine was one of them. I also had a typewriter, which increased my ability to get my resume out quicker than other job candidates. Every time I faxed my resume from home, I would get an instantaneous callback from everyone I had faxed to, offering me an interview or a job. I knew I was onto something, creating resumes and cover letters for each position I applied to. I would take a chance on making sloppy whiteout corrections each time I submitted to a different job. To perfect my interviewing skills, I would practice by spending hours upon hours of paying attention to my facial expressions and meditating on the do's and don'ts of interview techniques. So many times I have worked 3 jobs at once, again, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to. It was never for the money, which is probably where I could have made a mistake, but my skills were in demand, and I loved the fact that I was needed. Most of my rewarding career, I created bad debt letters demanding review, reconsideration, and payment of denied and underpaid health care claims for many of Chicagoland and Wisconsin's hospitals, patient financial services, and private collections agencies. I wrote the letters myself. I was never taught how. I just did what I thought was necessary and within the law to do. I wrote to nearly all of the top healthcare insurance companies in America, Canada's universal healthcare system, attorneys, and guardianship estates demanding payment and expressly detailing illnesses, diagnoses, and correct payment amounts. I disputed the denials by researching each account in my portfolio. I was informed and knowledgeable when I made my contact call to them. The companies that I worked for got paid. Bills that were 1 year, 5 years, or even 7 years old. Some billed up to $150,000 each were paid within 3 days of my interaction. Some offices required me to touch 100 claims a day. I began to hire myself out through consulting companies to collect their debt. I had developed my own techniques. A proven track record of hospital collections accomplished by studying my craft, mastering my collection techniques, and writing the best effective bad debt collection letters I could, which is actually the business that I wanted to start before the resume writing service, bad debt collections. I knew someday I would be writing something. After working in healthcare for over 20-plus years, law enforcement briefly, and county and city employment, I combined all the work experience I had ever learned and passionately began a writing service creating job search marketing tools. I opened a brick-and-mortar location and an at-home office, and then added an online business for my resume writing services. How my attention got started in career readiness? Where did the opportunity come from that allowed me to master the art of job search readiness and resume and cover letter writing? One day when I was 15 years old, I took out the trash. While reaching in the incinerator with the bag, I pulled out a cosmetology book, a cooking class book, and a job readiness book, all new. How did they get there? I am sure that one of my many neighbors had received the books from a state mandatory job readiness program and had determined that they would not attend the classes. I will tell you that, as of today, I have totally mastered 2 of the books and have learned plenty from the cosmetology book. All of these books, which were someone else's garbage, became my treasure, my prize, and throughout my life, my moneymaker. Much of my mastering can be someone else's motivator. Here's how I put all 3 books' subjects and techniques to use. I cooked good meals before going to the interview. I prepared my hair, made it healthy with professional and appealing hairstyles, and I created professional and effective resumes and cover letters to give an employer what they asked for. I conditioned myself to receive knowledge from the author of the books I found. The authors took the time to research, explain, update, and share their information with me. I learned how to apply technique from each of the books. I ask that you too open up and explore, learn, and to agree to disagree respectfully with the information in this book. I can only touch those who are open for what I have to say in this book, and because marketing is part of my business, I have learned that I can't market to everyone. Have you ever heard of the phrase, "It's simple economics"? Or how about the question, what is economics and how does it apply to you? A formal definition can be found searching the internet or thumbing through a dictionary. But in layman's terms, if you are a purchaser of food, clothing, houses, cars, land, services, plane rides, boat trips, theater or concert tickets, telephones or computers, you are a part of the economic system. If you attend school, take a loan, give a loan, or run a business, you are part of the economic system. If you eat in or carry out fast food, buy gym shoes, or get your hair styled by a salon or friend, and you pay them, you are contributing to the economic system. The world goes around with what each and every one of us buys, sells, consumes, or uses, be it product or service. It's one big circle. It's one big round circle. I buy, spend, and use. You buy, spend, and use. If I run a business, or if I work for someone else, I create, produce, or service. I am part of an economic system. If you run a business or work for someone and you create, produce, or service, you are also a part of an economic system. I borrow and spend money. You borrow and spend money. Businesses sell, borrow, loan, and spend money, and so does the government. They sell, borrow, loan, and spend money too. We are all part of an economic system. Later in the introduction and throughout this book, I will present to you how businesses market to you to persuade you to buy their products and services. The same businesses that are actively involved in the economic system also market and sell their products and services to you. The very same businesses that employ marketing teams, who were all at one point job seekers, that create marketing plans and advertisements to sell their products and services to you, are the same businesses that recruit, hire, select, train, maintain, and retain the job candidate who is now called an employee, to sell, market, buy, or present a product or service to me, you, businesses, the government, and the world. Yes, even hiring a job applicant is part of the economic system. Again, my book is for readers who will be edified by my information. These job seekers will now have to determine what is going on in our country's economy, as well as their own personal economy. Some things come into our lives by choice or by force. For example, layoffs, divorce, or an addition or reduction in a person's financial situation. The economy is a part of our financial system and workforce. An unemployed, employed, or underemployed worker affects the economic system. Statistics, including that of the census population, are taken and compared to that of the workforce of employed, unemployed, underemployed workers and the goods that are able to be made and sold, the supply and demand needs of the goods and services, and the desire for the goods, services, and products that are marketed to the world. If companies are not hiring and goods and services are not being sold, there will be an issue with the economy. The cost of goods goes up, the demand for goods goes down, and the need for certain goods becomes expensive. Everything in this world becomes an element of our economy. You, me, a job seeker, an employee, an employer, a student, businesses, the government, foreign countries, stores, schools, the internet, churches, and the media. Everything on this earth contributes to our economy, either by purchasing goods and services, the use of goods and services, or by creating, producing, and shipping to or from other companies and countries. A person's education, their skills, and where and why their homes were purchased affect the economy. If homes are not bought or sold, property taxes are not paid. The cost of goods goes up. Businesses not being able to hire employees, who lay off employees or closes business doors, affects you, me, communities, your city, state, and your country, and at some point, the world. Unemployment rate statistics. As of August 3, 2013, the United States unemployment rate was at 7.3%. With the rate being so high, there is an overwhelmingly large amount of job seekers looking for employment. As a witness to this economy, things are tough, and the basics, food, shelter, with the addition of the costs of job hunting now included, have the most emphasis and the most money allocated. The new norm is putting more money and time into a successful job hunt, which means there ought to be a clear understanding by the job seeker to devise a plan of steps with the use of social media to get back to work. Let's take a closer look at the numbers that make up our unemployment rate, which is a part of our economic system. According to an economic news release from the United States Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics webpage, states, United States of America has a population of 313.91 million people. To be exact, 313,914,040 million people. There are 63.2% employed workers. America has a current unemployment rate of 7.3% as of August 3, 2013. There are 4.3 million long-term unemployed considered, jobless for 27 weeks or more. 4.3 million long-term unemployed workers accounted for 37.9% of the unemployment rate. The report also states that there are 866,000 discouraged workers as of August 3, 2013, and that these workers are currently not looking for work because they believe no jobs are available for them. The 866,000 discouraged workers were added to the 1.5 million workers already attached to the labor force as such. There are 7.9 million employed part-time workers for economic reasons, involuntarily part-time workers. How do you fit in as a job seeker to this economy? Who are they? Baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964. Generation X, born between 1965 and 1984. Millennials, born between 1985 and 2005. How many exist? 79.6 million baby boomers, 84 million Generation X, 80 million millennials. What are their ages? Baby boomers, 49 to 67 years old. Generation X, 29 to 48 years old. Millennials, 8 to 28 years old. There are 1 million unemployed baby boomers. 53% of Generation X are either unemployed or underemployed. 11% of millennials are unemployed. 35% of Generation X are college educated, while 19% of the millennials are also college educated. 7.1% of adult men and 6.3% of adult women are unemployed. 22.7% of teenagers are unemployed. Looking at the unemployment rate by race, whites 6.4%, blacks 13.0%, Hispanics 9.3%, Asians 5.1%. Wow, that's a lot of unemployed people. To add fuel to the fire and more personal and community stress, 85% of the millennial age group have returned back to their retired or retiring parents' home because they are unemployed or underemployed. Secondly, they are considered to be the most educated generation, while my generation, Generation X, for the most part are more accomplished. Millennials back at home means no home purchases, which is needed to help fuel our economy. And finally, many baby boomers have not and will not retire at the time he or she should. It is indeed a stressful time for the employed and unemployed job seeker, their families, communities, businesses, our country, and because America is a huge influence, our world. Nevertheless, a job seeker must be up to par with running a difficult but effective social media-fueled job search. How does the job seeker approach or enter the workforce? Let me start by discussing the United States workforce concerns, but I can only do so by stressing to those who may never have learned about the subjects of college courses of economics, psychology, or accounting, to enroll in and complete each of the courses. The information is life-altering. These 3 subjects allowed me to change my way of thinking and how I viewed our economic system. Of the 3, I cannot stress to you which one I love more: the subject of our workforce and its effect of the economy, how our minds behave and function in relation to the elements that surround us, or the recording process of personal, business, or world financial systems. You will find that the 3 subjects are intertwined into one big circle or cycle. A job seeker must learn and understand how they fit into the workforce and economic system, besides performing duties and getting paid. A job seeker should, moreover, be concerned about the services and products that he or she must consume, use, produce, or help to perform or build. Whether you are unemployed, employed, or have stopped looking for work, you are a statistic in our economic system, which results in our government being able to produce an unemployment rate for you. Before the economy took a nosedive, many people, employed or unemployed, never concerned themselves with the theory and methods of the economy, although they are daily active participants. Now everyone is paying close attention to both the unemployment rate and hiring opportunities. Everyone, in addition to job seekers, are waiting to see if jobs are hiring or laying off, if businesses are remaining open or are closing, or what specific industries will be projected as the top industry of the year for hiring and salary growth. How you approach your job search in this economy matters. It matters greatly if you eat, have shelter, pay your bills, or keep lights and gas services powered on. It matters whether you have employment or not, and those who think it doesn't matter, try surviving without a job or money to buy the things you need. Today, because of the negative impact of our economy, to some, making a decision to buy a piece of bubble gum matters, and that's no joke. To get back on track of how a business is part of the economy and how you become a buyer of the goods and services that it sells, it markets to you. The business's marketing team creates a marketing plan to market to certain people who have a need of their products and services, who will be satisfied with their products and services, and who will continue to use and buy their products and services. A business calls this market segmentation. Everything's repetitive. Yep, you betcha, it is. Business marketing and job seeker marketing. Do you see any similarities? These same products and services need people who were once job seekers to create products and services we buy and use. These employees develop the products, the prices, the place to sell it, and to whom to sell it to. It is called the marketing mix of marketing. Then they determine who would be their better customers. A business knows that not everyone can or will be their customer, therefore requiring their employees to perform market research. To get you to buy the product, the company has to know what it is they are selling, how it works, how it will be a benefit to you, and why you should buy their product and service. Then, they differentiate themselves from the competitors' products or services. They determine what their differences are from the competition. They let you know what the differences are and hope that you are in need of their differences. After determining this important product information, their employees find a way to let prospective buyers know that they have something to sell, to satisfy your need or want. For example, women, men, elderly, millennials, teenagers, married couples, or single moms, to name a few. This is called marketing segmentation. As a job seeker, the prospective buyers are hiring managers, employers, recruiters, or headhunters, and so on. Then there's the packaging, the wrappers, and the bright colors, all appealing to their prospective buyers or audiences. Then you're buying. You and the millions of people in the world are buying based on the way the business created their products and services to appeal to you. They find the best modes of distribution. They create advertisements, including television or radio commercials, flyers, newspaper ads, magazines, coupons and discounts, and other methods of marketing distribution to get your attention. Then there's the marketing of the product. Who to sell it to? Women, men, elderly, millennials, teenagers, married couples, or single moms, to name a few. Now I will present to you the very same marketing of a job seeker during a job search. You are the product or service for sale in a job market. Your assets are what the company will get for hiring you. It is your knowledge, skills, abilities, and experiences, along with your passions. You are trying to sell your assets. To do so, you have to ask for an interview. Before asking for an interview, you have to market your skills. You are marketing these skills to ask for a job to perform your asset abilities that are for sale. To market yourself, you have to know what it is you are selling, what it is that you do. How can you satisfy the company's needs and ultimately affect their bottom line and increase their cash flow? You have to market how you were created and how you became you. You do this by selling your education, past and current work experiences, your degrees, certifications, and trainings, and your accomplishments and qualifications. All of these things have become tried and tested. You have to sell these assets to a company, ensuring that they understand what your products and services are made of. What are the benefits of purchasing your assets? Why are you better than other job seekers or job candidates? What is your lead over other job seekers? You are trying to sell your competitive advantage. How do you display this package, your assets and competitive advantage? First, you need a job search marketing plan, a team consisting of you and a resume writer or career coach, your job search marketer, to help devise the plan of marketing you. A resume writer has the same function as a career coach and can assess your job search needs to help with removing flaws in your products while increasing your strengths, improving or eliminating your weaknesses, and creating an overall appeal. The job search marketing plan consists of the use of job search marketing tools to sell your product. The resourceful package includes your resume, cover letter, reference sheet, thank you letter, follow-up letter, salary history, interview tips for appropriate business apparel, mock interview, networking cards, networking interviews, elevation pitch, and career coaching. Now add the unavoidable use of social media to the marketing plan, together with social media networking, virtual job or career fairs, QR codes, YouTube, Twitter or LinkedIn by use of computers, smartphones, laptops, tablets, and Androids, and you are well on your way to being bought at the job market. Once the product or service is packaged, it must be sold to the market that is willing to buy. You have to market to the industry, job title, company, or hiring manager that wishes to buy your assets. Assets that you are qualified, tried, and tested, and accomplished to market. After you have established your assets and how your goods would benefit and satisfy a company, submit your marketing information to them. Just as a company sends you an advertisement in the mail, you too must send out an advertisement that attracts attention. For instance, a banner on the internet. It appeals to you, you click it wanting to know more. Or when you create a social media profile and an employer leaves a comment or reply to your post or request. Or when you participate in an online job chat or respond to a blog with a request for employment. You attend job fairs, webinars, networking events to get to the market of hiring managers, recruiters, executive firms, employers, or anyone in need of using you, your services, and hidden talent. Your professional interview attire appeals to buyers in the job market. You are a package, and you are for sale. Buyers in the job market know this because your elevator pitch was remembered, or you passed out a resume or business card. You told them so when you submitted a job application. You said you were for sale when you attended interviews, job fairs, and other networking events. Your package is so appealing, it gets you more and more calls for job interviews. Your elevator pitch worked because the listener wanted the opportunity to hear more of your sales pitch. You sold your hard skills, and you sold them on your soft skills to your target market. You're hired. The employer bought it. They bought your resume and cover letter, all presented on professional stationery. They bought your interview and your sales pitch. They bought you and the idea that what you say you can do once hired will satisfy their buying decision. Your job search marketing plan is not finished. You have to negotiate how much you're worth. What are your assets worth? What is your value? What is your skills worth in salary and employee benefits? Knowing who you are, your value, researching your skill set, salary, company, and job title compensation is part of your marketing plan, and without knowing, you should not negotiate salary compensation and employee benefits. Here's where all the easy work begins. Performing the tasks you said you could while working as a team. Isn't this what you convinced them you would love to do? This is what is called value proposition. It is when a buyer gets satisfaction from your product or services, and in return, the seller gets satisfaction of having you as a customer. In job seekers' terms, it is when an employer, hiring manager, recruiter, headhunter, or anyone who hires you to use your assets to perform services, and you do so. They benefit from your use. You, the job seeker or seller, in return gets rewarded, promotions, or bonuses as a result. He or she gets satisfied in return. There's one catch. The use of social media and the addition of the millennial generation as competition to the job seeker's job hunt. How you implement social media and how you relate to the millennials will determine your success at finding employment and maintaining it. Don't let the lack of understanding of a new confrontational generation and the new digital technology put a halt to your victory. Inside this book, I will discuss the marketing tools of a job seeker, the use of social media for a successful job search during a bleak economy and hiring era, and the age generations, baby boomers, Generation X, and the millennials. Domestic violence and the effect of employment barriers in the economy are also topics of discussion. I also reference the importance of continuing education. I have added a small bonus chapter for those who are interested or wish to pass along to other job seekers, family, and friends for their growth and edification. My goal is to get you to accept that you need a plan to plan your job search. As a certified professional resume writer, I will attempt to assist with the navigation of your job search plan and present to both new and experienced job seekers the importance of the use of effective preparation of job search marketing tools and the exploration of social media to complete a winning job search. Chapter 1. 10 Steps to Consider Before Entering or Re-entering the Workforce. There are many things that a job seeker must consider before entering or re-entering the workforce. A job seeker re-entering the workforce has either worked in the workforce once before or is still employed, terminated from, laid off, quit, took a leave of absence, or is returning to work from being an ex-offender, a stay-at-home mom, a retiree, or a military personnel or military spouse. For whatever reason you're entering or re-entering the workforce, you, the job seeker, must know what should or should not be done, since job searches are no longer achieved in the same way as they once were. Have you ever wondered what all the hoopla is about concerning the use of cell phones, computers, and this thing called the Internet, especially for a job search? Attempting a job search when you never before needed to work has some benefits, as there are no changes to compare. If you are re-entering the workforce, many things have changed since the last time you applied for a position and were hired. More than likely, you will have to make adjustments to your old career search plans. Not everyone is on the same level in education, experiences, technology, or confidence. We are all different, but the job description makes us comply with what the employer is looking for. Therefore, being a match or a good fit for the team includes sharpening up your knowledge, skills, and abilities, and your hard and soft skills, personality, too. Social media can only hide you momentarily, but after a while, these attributes will soon become visible in an interview. Recruiters and hiring managers are now utilizing Internet technology to recruit the job candidates of their choice job seekers who they consider are a needed fit for their workforce and organization's goals. Do you own a smartphone? I am not referring to the flip phone that operates without the Internet or has limited Internet connection. Many people listening to this would openly ask, "What is she talking about? Everyone owns a smartphone." You would be completely surprised to know that everyone does not own digital technology or devices with smartphone or Android capabilities. Not everyone jumped on the bandwagon of buying new technology, a smartphone, desktop, laptop, or tablet. Not everyone believes in the use of digital technology, and for some reason or another, it startles one to use it. As a result, these individuals are looking for employment and have no clue how or where to get started using social media and its platform, the Internet. These types of job seekers need training and more encouragement. Which leads me to the next question. Are you currently using one of the older ways of filling out and distributing applications and paper resumes? Are you still mailing, hand-delivering, or faxing? Few hiring managers and recruiters still accept faxes and hand-deliverance, only upon request, of job applications and resumes. Both are currently being submitted adamantly via the Internet. It should be in everyone's best interest to own and buy a smartphone, Android, laptop, or desktop computer. You don't have to buy one if you do not want to, but it would be a wise decision to invest in purchases that would contribute to your learning, growth, and accomplishments from the information available on the Internet. Do I need to remind you that the path to a successful job search has definitely changed? Here are 10 brief tips to help your social media job search. 1. Make a list of the jobs that you are interested in and are only qualified to perform. 2. If you do not have a smartphone or computer, you can always use the Internet at the library, or you can buy a new computer or smartphone if it is within your budget. Shop around, ask questions, and do comparative shopping. After you have made your computer purchase or have visited your local library, begin to research your job title, industry, and employers that you are interested in working for. 3. While online, you can make use of and print resume templates, interview tips and techniques, interview questions, and resume salary information. 4. On the Internet, you can download apps to create resumes and other information relevant to your job search plan. 5. If you need help with directions, there are websites and apps such as MapQuest or Google Maps, to name a few, which will help you with locating and calculating the best route for your arrival and destination to job searches and interviews. 6. With the use of the Internet, you have the ability to view and get familiar with an enormous amount of information about a company, its hiring managers and recruiters by engaging in conversations, chats, networking events, job fairs, blogs, and other career opportunities or events through the use of social media. 7. Log into social media network sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, and others for assistance with your job search. Be very careful with what you choose to include in your profile that will cross the line between professional and unacceptable behavior. Many job candidates who were once considered to fill a job opening were soon rejected based on negative information entered in their social media profile. 8. Log into employer sites or temporary agency websites. Companies list their mission statements to describe what the company is about. These sites also include a description of jobs that are available for hire, contact information, hiring managers' information, their blogs, and directions on how to get to their office location. 9. Check your job title for a complete job description. Know what is expected of your job title. Know what changes have been made to the position since you last worked or applied for employment. What continuing education is needed to bring your career up to par. Take notice of any changes of knowledge, skills, and abilities. Prepare yourself to return back to school to improve your ability to perform the job. 10. Remove all doubt from your job search. Know who you are and what your value entails. Knowing these things, along with finding and fixing employment barriers that exist in your job search, will help you transition and be a lot more successful at finding employment. As of October 19, 2013, the current unemployment rate in the United States is 7.1%. This percentage rate does not include unemployed job seekers that have stopped looking for work, or job seekers who are no longer receiving unemployment benefits and who have also stopped looking for work. Therefore, the unemployment numbers are considered to be much higher. Check the state-by-state unemployment rate and other workforce statistics by visiting www.bvs.com. Want to know all there is about the job title you are experienced in or interested in becoming? View the Occupational Outlook Handbook online at the U.S. Department of Labor's Bureau of Statistics website at www.bls.gov/OOH/ for up-to-date career information. Chapter 2. 10 Steps to Consider to Find and Remove Job Search Barriers. It is a given, because we are human beings, that there are barriers to job searches. Unfortunately, it does not matter what our education or financial background is, barriers definitely exist. Some job seekers may have more barriers than another, and they may present more extreme than others. Some barriers are common in nature. Some are due to personal dynamics that only you know the cause. Through previous personal experience as a job seeker in search of employment, I have had to personally locate and eliminate barriers to my own job search. Even as a certified professional resume writer, creating job search marketing tools for job applicants entering, re-entering, transitioning, or by promotion looking for employment, have had to assess their job search needs and assist with pinpointing their fears, strengths, and weaknesses, along with the elements that stand in the way of locating and retaining viable employment. Because of our nation's economic woes, job seekers who contribute to the economy as users and producers of the goods and services produced domestically or globally have indeed been affected, creating barriers to life and the ability to locate employment. Many people are aware of the existence of their barriers and do or do not know how to reduce or eliminate the employment barriers. Others know what their barriers are, and because of the financial and emotional strain of both the national and personal economy, cannot budge and need strategic and consistent inspiration with moving forward and past certain devastations. And there are those job seekers who have never required outside assistance with problems or with applying for and obtaining employment. These job seekers are the most rewarding in my career when it comes to strategizing a career plan. Whatever reasons the barriers exist, this guide will help to become a reminder that it is imperative such pitfalls and sensitive elements be removed to build confidence and self-esteem in yourself and you're finding the best employment that you are most qualified to perform. Following are 10 steps that, if considered, can assist with reducing or eliminating problems that currently persist in your job search or have weighed heavily on your attempt at getting hired. 1. Write down the things that are worrying you. Date this list. 2. Write down the things that are keeping you from finding employment. For example, childcare and adult daycare for an elderly parent, education, money, transportation, or divorce. Date this list. 3. Write down your fears when it comes to your job search. Date this list. 4. What things did you jot down? Can you improve or eliminate this list within minutes, days, or weeks? Date this list. 5. Separate the things that will take longer to accomplish from those that will not. 6. Begin a checklist and diligently work at it. Set a goal to complete, remove, reduce, or eliminate the task or barrier. 7. Ask for assistance from a family member, friend, pastor, counselor, or anyone that you confide in and trust with your best interest. 8. Obtain referrals or recommendations for both private and government agencies that can help eliminate or reduce the barriers. Help is there. Use it. Forget about your pride and what others will think about your use of such services. Make a plan to make the most of them temporarily. Childcare services, if within guidelines, can remain as long-term use. 9. Read self-help books, meditate, and pray. Keep an open mind. Believe that you cannot and will not stay in the same negative circumstances for long, which is not at all where you want to be. 10. Research the internet. Use your smartphone or personal computer for instant information and answers to many of your questions. Barriers can be difficult to remove, and because resources may not be easily attainable to you, can sidetrack your interests and make you think that trying is useless. If the effort is made by researching, calling for assistance, and marking off items from your barrier checklist, you will probably see problems and issues begin to eliminate or reduce, and the road to your job search become more visible. On the following page are some ideas to create a barrier checklist. Keep track of your daily job search activities. Transfer this information from paper notes to your smartphone or computer to create an Excel worksheet or Word doc checklist. Also, try to search and locate on the internet personality, skills, and abilities tests to help eliminate barriers related to your finding employment. Create a barrier checklist. To create a barrier checklist, across the top, create 8 columns. In the first column, label it Problems, Barriers, and then put examples, 1 per line below. Going across, your next box should be How can you resolve? Again, fill in the boxes to each of the problem barriers. The next column should be Resources to help fix, then Contact information, Goal start date, Goal finish date, Feedback, and finally, Solved, yes or no. Chapter 3. 10 Job Search Steps to Consider While Living in a Domestic Violence Shelter. Many women, children, and men on a daily basis are consumed with the aftermath of domestic violence. Shelters are full to capacity with residents due to issues caused by the economy, including domestic violence, unemployment, and underemployment. Transitioning from home to a domestic violence shelter can be overwhelming. I know because my children and I have had this experience. It is quite difficult to gather thoughts, personal items, money, and composure to move forward from the cycle of events that led up to your stay. The 10 job search steps below are to be considered with the workout and safety plans of the staff, legal advocates, and social workers of the domestic violence facility in which you reside. The 10 steps are not to take precedence to your domestic violence issues. These steps can help you to move forward with your job search, which, for a person of domestic violence, presents with far more barriers than that of the average person's job search. I'm sure that your advocate has given time of adjustment to your residing in the shelter, reviewed safety plans, and has developed an employment search plan to help you gain independence and financial stability. It is imperative that throughout your search, you remove as much doubt as you can. It takes time. Now you have new issues, including living in cramped spaces, eating and showering when someone else says so. Here is a more positive approach to your stay. You and your family's safety has been secured. Trying to search for employment and land a job is now necessary as your stay in the shelter may be limited. Because I am not licensed to provide you with social counseling, I am so certified in the assessment of a job seeker for the creation of resumes and other job search marketing tools. I also have the experience of motivating myself and my children throughout a tumultuous time. This, my friend, is how I can present the steps to finding employment under the pressures of living as a domestic violence victim in a domestic violence shelter. I will try to motivate you to be acquainted with the use of a checklist and a plan. You should condition yourself to check the list off as you move forward. Try to check off at least 2 things a day. I will try to motivate you by saying to you, you can do it. I know from experience that you can and that you must. A thorough plan and adherence to that plan will make you successful at what you set out to do. Do not by any means take your stay at the shelter for granted. I know that this is a difficult time, and that there is more pain and unanswered questions of why and how could he or she have done this to me. But one thing for sure is that it did happen, and you must prepare and put forth effort to get stability back into your life. Did you know that obtaining shelter is more important than anything else you need to accomplish? If you have no place to live or an unsafe place to live, having money does not satisfy the stability needed during this uneasy time. This is a fact. Did you know that while you are at the shelter, that you now have housing? You're dislocated, but you have housing. The lights are on, there is heat and air conditioning. There is food, soap and water, and bathing facilities. There is laundry space. There is clothing, shoes, and food donations. There are school supplies. There is access to counseling services, transportation, and other resources such as information to social services, permanent housing, and Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security agencies. The domestic violence shelter has access to hiring managers, temporary agencies, and employers looking to invest and help the community when such a need arises. So, with that, everything that is needed to keep you warm, safe, and to provide a roof over your head is there. There for you at no expense. All you have to worry about is building a positive frame of mind, a positive emotional well-being, and a successful approach to employment. And, of course, those dreaded chores, the same chores that you have to do at your own home. Let's get started with the 10 steps to consider using with your job search. 1. Discuss, review, understand, and make every attempt to complete the plan that the domestic violence shelter staff has created for you and your family's personal situation. 2. Create or revamp your resume and a cover letter yourself, or with the use of a friend, a staff worker, or a professional resume writer, tailored to the position you are qualified to perform. You must have an updated resume and cover letter. The job market has changed, and if you have not already done so, you need to make changes to how you search for employment. 3. If you have a smartphone, Android, tablet, laptop, or desktop computer access while in the domestic violence shelter, or by security release and approval of the domestic violence staff to go to the local library, search and locate information concerning careers, job descriptions, and employer names and address information. You can download apps to resume and cover letter templates, interview tips, techniques, and questions, and proper interview apparel. You can also find mock interview information and other resources with these devices as well. 4. You can print directions or download apps, such as MapQuest or Google Maps, that locates your destination and gives you routes to take you to get jobs, social service agencies, schools, and other important locations. 5. Once you have created a resume and cover letter, you can submit it according to how the hiring manager, employer, or temporary agency has requested it to be sent. You can visit employer sites or temporary agencies such as Robert Half, Office Team, and Kelly to view job listings. You have to create, scan, and save your resume and cover letter to your email or store in your documents folder on your computer. You can upload or submit your application, resume, and cover letter to the site's job portal or job board according to their specifications. 6. Know your skills, job title, the position you are applying to, and that you qualify for. Know your accomplishments that help make the previous companies you worked for successful. Know your education, training, certifications, seminars, workshops, and other continuing education information. Know your typing speed and computer skills. Ever volunteered and done some community work? That's important too. For your cover letter, include why you want to work for a specific company and what skills you possess that stand out from the crowd. Then briefly ask for an interview. 7. Look over your clothing for a job interview. Is it the clothing of a business professional or streetwear? Your interview clothing should be of business wear only. Do not wear colored clothes to a job interview. Ask the shelter staff if there are any donated white shirts, blue, gray, or black suits, pants or skirts, and black shoes. These main items are needed to compete in a very competitive job search market. No gaudy jewelry, no huge hooped earrings. Try a conservative hairstyle. No colored shoes and no gym shoes. Remember, this is business, and you are to behave as such by wearing proper interview attire and presenting with professional behavior. 8. Print plenty of copies of resumes and cover letters, and as a certified professional resume writer, I also recommend your being prepared with copies of reference sheets of both professional and personal references. The reference sheet can have 3 or 5 references, but provide the hiring manager with what he or she requests. Be prepared with pen and paper, too. 9. Make a job search plan. You can create it like a chart or a journal. Write down the employers you want to apply to, then submit your resume and cover letter. Document the date you applied to the position, the company's response, and the date of the response. Write down how you applied to the position, who the hiring manager is, and interview dates. Document how the interview went and what you think your strengths and weaknesses are. Write your hire date down. Make changes to your resume as you see fit, but be knowledgeable and comfortable in doing so. 10. After each submission of your resume, whether in person, by email, fax, smartphone, internet, employer website, or snail mail, allow 5 days to send a letter explaining who you are and that you are still interested in the position. If you interview for a job, write a thank you note to the hiring manager who interviewed you immediately after you return home. If you submitted a resume and cover letter, it is okay to write stating that you are still interested in the position. Allot plenty of time to your job search strategy, especially when the kids are asleep or in school. This is business. Treat it as such. It's your job to put your best forward and you're all into it. Once you get home from your interviews, you can change clothes and get back into the mode of you. Be persistent. Just like every other job seeker who is looking for employment, don't give up. Keep your head up and find out what your barriers are to employment and continue to remove as many barriers as you can. Remember, to succeed at your own job hunt, appropriate job search etiquette should be practiced throughout your job search. Keep the domestic violence staff informed with the results of your job search. They can help you along the way with discussing your flaws, fears, and mistakes made. Have someone critique your career search using corrective criticism. Often, criticism hurts, and during such a traumatic time in your life, can seem even more painful and devastating for victims of domestic violence. Try to take it with a grain of salt, I do not say this lightly, and make the corrections as best you can. Helpful reading: The Single Parent's Money Guide by Emily Card with Christy Watts Kelly. The road to healing requires adequate resources. Following are lists of sites that can help you eliminate some of the barriers to your situation. National Association of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, 202-393-5501. www.naccrra.org. The National Domestic Violence Pro Bono Directory. You can Google the title for their website. Department of Human Services. Search by your state for the Department of Human Services. The Association for Children for Enforcement of Support. 800-537-7072. www.cocommunity.net. Internal Revenue Service. 800-829-1010. www.irs.gov. Department of Unemployment Security. Search by state for the Department of Human Services. The United States Social Security Administration. 800-772-1213. www.ssa.gov. Chapter 4: 10 Steps to Consider When Entering or Re-entering a Workforce as a Baby Boomer or Generation X Job Seeker. I cannot let you know enough how many baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964 and Generation X born between 1965 and 1975 clients I have written resumes and have provided career coaching services for prior to and during our current national economic situation, who have visited my office with the need and desire to return to the workforce but had negative feelings about their age, having little or improved experience or no experience at all for a specific job. They also have no social media or internet experience. The submission of an application for a job or a search for employment posed problems, fears, and anxiety. These clients also present with common issues shared by other job seekers attempting to complete a job search in today's job market. Today's job market consists of both social media and the use of the internet. Baby boomers have been in the workforce the longest and are now approaching retirement. Because of the economy, loss of finances, boredom, death of a spouse, children returned back home to live, the baby boomer has made a decision to return back to the workforce or retire at a later date. Gen X job seekers have gotten whatever jobs they wanted, have had multiple jobs, or have job hopped as a part of their work history. Generation X job seekers are nowhere near retirement and have their retirement age pushed back to 67 years of age. Both the baby boomers and Gen X job seekers have at one point enjoyed the ease of simply applying for a job by taking the for sale sign out of the window and applying for the job. These two generations that once applied to a job by use of paper applications and paper resumes now have to learn new ways of job searching. Many job seekers were hired this way, on the spot, or received immediate interviews. The selection process was faster, and the hiring manager was never able to be located for questions. But nonetheless, the chances of getting hired were greater than before. Your qualifications didn't have to match those of the company's job description. Employers were willing to give you a chance. Today, that way of hiring has drastically changed. The recruiting, selection, and hiring process has now included social media. Even the process of elimination can include a rejection of your being hired because of a negative or unprofessional social media profile and by email. Today's job search may not be easy for most, but it becomes easier with applying the right job search marketing steps to find employment. Now, everything is at the click of a button. This new process of writing a more creative resume and cover letter, submitting a resume and cover letter online, and the interaction of job seekers and hiring managers by way of social media is in full swing. It cannot and must not be avoided by the baby boomer or Generation X job seeker. Knowing the digital services and how to use them will increase your chances to getting hired. Removing all doubt that you cannot compete in this job market should also be avoided. Baby boomer and Generation X job seekers that have been at the same job or industry for 15+ years who have fears of starting over should reevaluate their job search fears and weaknesses. Have you wondered about your new job search? Searching and finding job openings online. Completing and submitting a resume and cover letter online. How do I get over why I left my last job? Will I be discriminated against because of the dates on my resume? If both Generation X and baby boomers understood and attempted to use the internet more than casually, they would become more familiar with it and realize that everything is much easier than it seems. Here is a better way to look at it. You no longer have to try to find a company to arrive for an interview. You can use digital GPS navigation to find and guide you to your destinations. Search a company to get company information. Locate a hiring manager's name to address correctly while writing a cover letter. You can search and find job salary information to negotiate salary. You can read information and get answers about how to get along with the millennial generation. Utilize information from online, interact with social media networks, and use apps to make your job search easier. 1. Visit www.aarp.com site for up-to-date job search information for baby boomer job seekers. This niche site has dedicated its time and resources to providing this age group with all kinds of information, including employment, legal, health, or retirement. They have studied their audience's needs for employment, whether entering or re-entering the workforce. This site also has a job board. 2. Find ways to relieve stress. Eat healthy, eliminate smoking, and read career-related books to keep your mind strong and away from fears. Consult with credentialed professionals to obtain assistance for any of your concerns. For instance, budget, loan repayment, or college costs. 3. Age discrimination does happen, and quite a bit. Employers can and do secretively refuse to hire upon learning a job seeker's age. But on a resume, there are ways to eliminate your age. If you graduated from college, you do not have to list your high school at all. How you present yourself on your resume and in a job interview is why a company will hire you. 4. During an interview, build up your skills. Convince the interviewer of your much-needed seasoned expertise you possess and how their company would be able to utilize your knowledge and grow from allowing you to share it with their workforce. 5. The foremost skill gap that exists within the job market is that of digital technology. Improving your skills by taking computer classes can help. Don't waste time getting training in classes that do not pertain to the job description you are applying to. Do include all digital technology knowledge on your resume under Computer heading. If you are on LinkedIn and have accumulated a large network, add this to your resume. Enroll in a social media class online. Both Hootsuite University and Social Bro, among others, have free and at-cost social media classes. 6. There is something I had to come to terms with and accept, and perhaps you should too. Interaction with millennials and my own millennial children. Writing this book helped me accept their differences, how I respond to their differences, and that their differences, while continuing to be the best parent that I could, can only make my children super. I do not reserve my beliefs. I'm just open and listen to their beliefs more, rather than try to ram my ideas and wants down their throats. I found a way to interact with them, as you will have to do to communicate with them as coworkers. And since my children are so much like me, very much determined to go down with a fight, what do you think it makes them? They are so millennial. Millennial job seekers and coworkers do come off as intimidating because of their behavior and their dominance of digital technology. But realize that this is the same generation that will conduct our elder care business or whose desks we will approach to speak with as supervisors. We will be the millennials' responsibility soon. Our millennial children to the workforce are just as important as we think we should be to them. Baby boomers and Generation X adults should rethink their approach and rejection of the millennials. 7. Fears, weaknesses, and strengths. A baby boomer or Generation X job seeker who has been in the workforce for years and has retired or re-entered the workforce has more experience, courage, and know-how than we want to admit. Work on your fears and insecurities, and don't add any more in relation to the interactions and skills gap of you to the millennial. You can do it. Keep going. Stay encouraged and don't be intimidated by the use of millennial as the subject matter or as job seeker competition. 8. If you are a baby boomer or a Generation X job seeker who has been denied employment because you are experienced, seasoned, or overqualified, study the job description of the job you are applying to. Do not apply for a position if you are not satisfied with the salary or other employee benefits. Know up front what they are. Plan your job search wisely. Do not cheat yourself or the company by downplaying your qualifications to get the job. Here's why you should not. If you do so, and then get upset about how low the salary is, or that the job is boring, or that you cannot excel in the company, it will be your loss, and the company will realize that you wasted their time and money. Be careful if you work for a temp agency and you make decisions like this. You will not be offered any more assignments. Because of the economy, companies are taking advantage of hiring job candidates with great qualifications, education, and accomplishments at lower salaries than they should. You will not make them budge, promote you, or increase your salary once you get in there because you chose to hide your true skills. The employer knows exactly why they are hiring the job candidates they choose. You need to know what it is you want to do and what you are willing to settle for up front. Save yourself time and money with a more methodical job search plan. 9. Mentoring, shadowing, or training. While interviewing and creating resumes and cover letters, build up the fact that you would like to mentor and train other coworkers. Create a question or strategically explain how their company would benefit from your mentoring and training other employees. They know how valuable mentorships are and could definitely use you. Strategically present these abilities as an asset. 10. The way to present yourself as a person worth hiring if you are an overqualified job hopper is to create a resume that builds your skills and eliminates dates. Mention your knowledge, skills, and abilities in the resume, then mention them in your cover letter. How the resume and cover letter is created will get the attention of the hiring manager, snatching you an interview. In the interview, the interviewer will ask questions about the dates for the jobs that you performed and skills learned. If you are going to write a resume with this type of format, be prepared before you get an interview. Strategize. 11. Bonus. Transitioning from one industry to another? Know what jobs you are applying to, the job title, and industry. Then create a resume that shows your transferable skills and how the skills will benefit their company. 12. Bonus. Both the baby boomer and Generation X job seeker share many of the same job search barriers to getting employment. The workforce will lack experienced workers, talented input, and tested ideas because the experienced and seasoned job seekers have obstacles to overcome and are inadvertently being rejected. Here's why. If the unemployment rate is extremely high, there is unemployed talent in the market to be hired, and they present with barriers to getting employment. The workforce is limited with little to no room for economic or company growth because you have a millennial generation of workers or prospects who are limited with education and experiences. Experienced baby boomers and Generation X job seekers out of work are not able to share assets that contribute to a company's organizational goals. Secondly, since there are unemployed baby boomers not yet ready for retirement who can contribute to the workforce and are not hired in the workforce, this will also take away from economic growth. Thus, a company and its employees will not be able to grow. Therefore, a company should always consider a qualified baby boomer or Generation X job seeker for diversity to complete and strengthen their workforce. Any form of hiring discrimination should be rejected. If employers feel the need to complain about the millennial employee or job seeker, then why discriminate against a seasoned, aged, or overqualified job seeker? There are 1 million unemployed baby boomers in the United States. Many baby boomers will not be retiring at the time that they should. Understanding, co-working with, nurturing, and accepting the millennials' attributes appear to be tough. We either have millennials as children, grandchildren, relatives, co-workers, supervisors, or neighbors. Their existence is totally unavoidable. I found a great book, The Trophy Kids Grow Up by Ron Alsop, that focuses on the effects of each generation's participation in the workforce, especially the millennials. More information about this book can be found at the author's website at http://thetrophykids.com. Chapter 5. 10 Steps Millennials Can Consider Throughout Their Job Search. By now, everyone should know that the millennial generation is the group that leads the age of knowledge and information. It's not that this generation has more experience than any other previous age group or existing age group, but it has been the age generation responsible for most of the creation and immediate acceptance of the digital age technology devices, Androids, smartphones, laptops, and tablets, increasing the success of startup companies, big and small. What this age group has done with knowledge and information has forced every other age group before it to reevaluate how things are done, who's involved in its process, and what changes are to be made to the now and the future. Many people were extremely slow to attach to the use of Internet, as well as many companies who refused at one point to integrate the Internet into its present and future organizational planning. especially when it came to marketing and advertisement. Many startups began to grow and explode based on allowing millennial employees to come to work and ultimately kick it while brainstorming for ideas, accomplishing goals, and creating what finally became billion-dollar companies. These companies listened to the millennials because either they were themselves of millennial age or had great organizational leadership to make sense of what our world was heading into, which is the digital age of knowledge and information. Those of us parents who have millennials know that this is a truly outspoken, confrontational, but creative generation. Millennial children have their own minds and do not curtail to the way things were and what the generations before believed should be. The more that you tell this generation that the old way is the only way and the right way, the more they will show you that their way works and will work. I can speak from personal experience of having children aged 25, 16, 9, and 8, born of the millennial generation, all verbally outspoken. I have had to listen to my children when it comes to advice about my business, personal, and casual decisions. It is hard and often very difficult to listen to individuals that I believe have not been on the earth long enough to have experienced anything to tell me about certain subjects. My ideology could be wrong, although I believe my approach by way of trying to preserve the values of my time. But this generation brings greater value to the digital age than previous generations, and they will reign longer in it. Millennials think differently from previous generations. We know it, and so do they. But how does the hiring manager from a previous generation deal with such a millennial job seeker? How does the millennial job seeker approach a job interview or his entire job search with the possibility of interviewing or becoming hired by a company who is of the previous age generation and necessitate this type of employee in its workforce? Millennials have value to be added to the existence of any business. The experienced or generations before the millennials, whether it be a parent or a business, must come to terms that this generation will be leading our country by way of whatever industry they enter, and that for the most part, the best way for all generations to overcome ideology division is by acceptance and appreciation for what each other brings to the table. The digital age of knowledge and information warrants this action and is detrimental to a business and household's ability to succeed. Millennials must remember that it is important to listen and grasp the old values of both business and personal, and combine them to permit their period of influence. Millennials should work with the experienced previous generations of baby boomers and Generation X job seekers and co-workers to share, combine, and grow their knowledge and information base, their ideas, and contribution to an organization's goals. All job seekers need a strategic career search plan. Experienced, seasoned, or inexperienced. Millennials, baby boomers, or Generation X are no different. I have combined a list of 10 things millennials should do to prepare for an interview with an employer or hiring manager of a previous generation. 1. I think not hiring a millennial job seeker, especially for managerial, social services, or government positions, would be an injustice to this generation, because this generation will reign longer in the digital technology age and should be hired in it while baby boomers and Generation X's are still able to train and mentor them. 2. Hiring managers and employers have a concern for the millennial job seeker and employee as not being professional and reliable. Since this is a concern, it is the millennials' responsibility to learn the universal code for business, job interview attire, and business etiquette and business work ethics. At this point, adults usually have understood what is acceptable and what is not. Wearing streetwear, answering or talking on your cell phone while waiting for your interview, during or after your interview, should not take place at all. Turn your cell phone off and consider the job interview to be business. Tend to the business of the job interview only. The business rule is not to be altered just because of the millennials' characteristics. 3. Watch your social media profile content and behavior. Your generation does not understand the effects of a negative or unsavory social media profile. If your parents complain about your profile, if others reply bad comments about your profile, if you have to block other users as a response to your profile content, more than likely it is unacceptable and will not be accepted by a hiring manager either. Take regard to what is satisfactory and what is not. Keep it business. Find a way to separate business from home life. 4. By all means, do not take your parents with you to your job interview. First, why would any parent go with a child on a job interview? It makes no sense to me. I am a Generation Xer. I have millennial children. I would not accompany any of them on a job interview. In the future, if conditions warranted, perhaps. My children have so much freaking confidence at their ages now. The world needs to get prepared for their beautiful arrival. I have applied for jobs and job interviewed since I was 11 years old. My Aunt Lois got me the job, at a time when the professional business etiquette rules were more than ever alive and unchallenged. Either you don't know any better or you cannot do better. So, for the life of me, I cannot picture what baby boomer or Generation X parent would go on a job interview with their job seeker child. Secondly, if I were to take a child of mine to a job interview, I would not even sit in the parking lot, go inside the building, nor call the company inquiring about my child's interview or interview results. I hope some of you millennial parents are still with me at this point. Didn't mean to lose you. Lastly, go to the interview, do your best, and just remember the recommendations that your parents shared with you, if you believe them to be necessary. Regardless, you are responsible for what you say and do in the interview, as well as with your job performance once hired. 5. What is your vision for the job position and the company? If you are able to answer this question, then professionally and skillfully present it at the interview. The hiring manager will definitely be all ears. Why? Because it means that you have done your research and are not only interested in the job opening, but the company as well. I think it's a neat way to answer a hiring manager's interview question. Do you have any questions? 6. Present with quality. Millennials are having trouble communicating this in an interview. What are you good at? Know your skills, attributes, strengths, weaknesses, qualifications, and accomplishments. 7. During your interview, always let the hiring manager know you are enthused about their company. Only apply for a job that you are willing to stay at longer than 3 to 4 years. Hiring managers are looking for loyalty. Trust me, everyone knows how important it is to move on when there is room for growth, advancement, or promotion, but sometimes steps up a ladder or steps sideways on the ladder, called a career lattice, also includes positive progress and can be used to strengthen your work ethic. Plan your career to eliminate unnecessary voluntary job loss. 8. Also during the interview, ask questions about the job. Research your job title. Know what questions to ask and keep them simple. Millennials, you should do everything you can to discover all that you can about what type of work you want to do. Prepare ahead of the interview, and for each job position, know what questions you want to ask. 9. Do not attend an interview with a cell phone in your hand. Turn it off. If you are a disciplined person, able to turn your phone on vibrate because you have your contacts or informations, such as references stored in your phone, use it professionally. Your cell phone should not be buzzing and vibrating or ringing your favorite song. Power your cell phone off during the interview. Follow appropriate business etiquette. A millennial's attributes are not an exception to the business attire rule. If work attire is a concern for you, only apply for jobs that allow for the attire you desire. But until then, stick with appropriate business attire. 10. Write a thank you or follow-up letter. Thank the interviewer for his or her time. Ask, what are the next steps to getting hired? This type of question generates responses. Millennials know more about the internet and social media than I do. I have been using the internet nearly 25 years of my work history and owned one of the first IBM PC computers since 1984. DOS operating system. In other words, see the brown dog run. Only DOS users know what I'm talking about. This is at a time when computers were finally offered to the personal user. Millennials have experimented with, used, searched for, commented, replied, retweeted, posted, friend, unfriend, followed, or unfollowed more than I ever could or would. Here's a question to be answered. Why then does millennials' usage of digital technology intimidate others, although prior generations have been around computers longer. Bonus. Found a few apps to help your career search. Snapdot, Resume Review Pro, and AwesomeNote to be added to your already inundated social media digital devices. Chapter 6. 10 Steps to Consider when Creating a Strategic Job Search Plan. Building up your mind to pursue employment took the weighing of reasons and reality of you and your family's lifestyle. You made a clear decision to buy this audiobook and to create a strategic career or job search plan with the information in this book. That's a step towards progress. Now, more than ever, you are in full swing with realizing that a strategic job search plan is needed to craft and present yourself with a profound impact, leading to your receiving employment. A strategic plan helps you to brainstorm and get your ideas on paper and what you will need to be successful at executing your ideas to actions. It allows feedback of documentation and steps to satisfy your goals. But how do you approach creating a strategic job or career search plan? You can begin by answering the following questions. What information do I need to capture the attention of a hiring manager? What information is valuable and what is not? Where do I want to work? How often should I contact a hiring manager after submitting a resume? Why do people refer to a resume as job search marketing tools? How do I get started? Job search marketing tools are ways to catch the eye of the hiring manager. They consist of resume. Resumes are tailored to each position title applying for. Cover letter. Cover letters are personally addressed to an individual and tailored to the position. Reference sheet, thank you letter. Follow-up letter, salary history, video resumes, networking cards, career coaching, elevator pitch. As a certified professional resume writer, I recommend that all of the above marketing tools be created and utilized for maximum results. Cross all of your T's and dot all of your I's during your job search. You are to leave no stones unturned. Use each tool wisely. They are to enhance your job search and should not be underused or undercrafted. All of your job search marketing documents are to be strategically and creatively built to increase confidence during your job search. Creating and building an effective job or career search plan is the only means to progress forward with your successfully landing employment. Any thoughts given to a successful climb up the ladder to find employment is a plan. Researching the needs of a job hunt is a plan. Writing the plan down is a part of the plan. Accomplishing getting hired is the closing stages and final goals of the plan. Steps to a successful strategic job search plan. Identify, plan, build, action, feedback, follow-up. Listed are 10 steps that can assist you in motion to accomplishment of building a workable job search plan. 1. Create a strategic career plan by identify what you want to do and what it takes to do it. Plan what you will do. Build your plan. Check it off as you go along and cover all the tracks to a successful job hunt. Put your plan into action. Distribute job search marketing tools, interview, and network. Document your feedback. Follow up your actions with follow-up telephone calls and letters. 2. Create job search marketing tools, resume, cover letter, reference sheet, thank you letter, follow-up letter, an elevator pitch, salary history, video resumes and interviews, video marketing, networking resumes and networking cards. 3. Print plenty of job search marketing documents. 4. Meet with a certified professional resume writer or a career coach. 5. Research employers and industries of choice. 6. Select qualified job title and industry. 7. Review interview tips, questions, and interview attire. Perform mock interviews. 8. Devise plan to distribute resumes and cover letters, video resumes, and other job search marketing documents. 9. Attend networking events, job fairs, seminars, workshops, and other career-related events. 10. Follow up to all interviews and job search marketing tools distribution. Do not forget to apply social media to your job search. Learn to create a winning job seeker's elevator pitch. Check out apps for social media and career planning located at the Google Play Store and Apple Store. These two were voted 5 stars. Career Planning Made Easy by AppBuzz. Glassdoor has a neat app loaded with salary information and job leads. It also has the ability to merge your job search with Facebook. Chapter 7. 10 Steps to Consider when Shaping Your Value and Creating an Elevator Pitch. How do you determine your value? It consists of all the things that describe the benefits of hiring you. It includes your type and level of experience, education, certifications, trainings, and workshops, your professionalism with both presentations of your person in an interview and your job search marketing tools that differentiate you from the competition. It is these combined attributes that your value proposition consists of to create your elevator pitch. Surfing the internet, visiting the library, and downloading apps to your smartphone or computer can help you to build a winning elevator pitch. The Wikipedia, located at www.wikipedia.com, describes an elevator pitch this way. An elevator pitch, or an elevator statement, is a short summary used to quickly and simply define a person's profession, product, service, or an organization for the advancement of its value proposition, given the possibility that you are able to deliver the sales pitch in the time span of an elevator ride, or within approximately 30 seconds to 2 minutes. If the conversation at the elevator for those few minutes is interesting and value is added, the conversation will continue after the elevator ride, or result in an exchange of business cards or a scheduled meeting. Usually, I prefer to use hard copy references for everything. I am a library geek. I shelved books at one of Chicago Public Library's local branches. I keep a hard copy dictionary for interpreting definitions to words I do not understand or misspell, but because of this book's reference to the internet, research, and social media, it would be better to refer the book's readers to a definition they can view online. The elevator pitch consists of a value proposition. A value proposition is an accumulation of your value rolled up in a strategic sales pitch. It is utilized by businesses to market its products and services. Value propositions are included within an elevator pitch or an elevator speech, used by human job search marketers, better known as job seekers. Every job seeker has value to bring to the table, but it should match that of a business's value, job description requests, and its organizational goals. Listen to the following bullet points. Do you perform your duties at a production rate past that of the job requirements? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. Packed thousands of manufactured socks daily, past company quota by 75%. Do you utilize specific productivity techniques that you were trained or certified to perform? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. I am Certified Project Manager with ISO certifications for FEMA, a Department of Homeland Security. Does your job allow you to administer certain drugs that require security clearance? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. I attended the University of Madison and earned a bachelor's degree in psychiatric nursing. I am licensed by the states of Illinois and New York to administer methadone. Does your portfolio, Rolodex, or LinkedIn network consist of more regions than that required of the job description? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. My sales career has led me to accomplish a reputation of top national sales representative from the United States, coast to coast and globally, allowing me to develop business relationships with many of the CEOs of the world's Fortune 500 companies. Do you oversee a call center of different divisions and thousands of inbound and outbound callers? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. I am Valerie Harper. I have 25 years of experience managing an inbound and outbound call center of 8,000 employees. I also trained, streamlined, and managed our international office, creating a department to support weekend closings of our main offices. Do you manage billions of dollars annually in revenue collections versus thousands of dollars in annual revenue collections? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. Mr. Davis, I am currently the Regional Director of Crab Takes Houses Establishments, where my master's degree in education and agricultural experience has allowed me to develop successful plans at the execution of food presentation and quality, creating $1 billion in annual sales. Do you teach Spanish? Job seekers' value or competitive advantage. I am a foreign language instructor of college-level Spanish, French, Polish, Italian, and Swahili. I have written curriculum textbooks for the use at elementary schools and institutions. The above bullets are an example of competitive advantage that determine your value and adds both perspective and character to your elevator pitch and ultimately adds quality and quantities to your resume. Second, just like a business, you are to find out who you are presenting your knowledge, skills, abilities, and experiences to. What industry and job title you are marketing and asking to buy your assets. The information that you profess to perform should only be targeted to those businesses or companies that you are qualified to target, or else you are wasting everyone's time. Third, the more eccentric the business, the higher the caliber of the value proposition needed. The company or hiring manager will not accept anything less. Therefore, a great presentation is a must during your job search. And lastly, getting an interview, time to speak your requests, or a scheduled meeting after use of your elevator pitch will allow you to present yourself more openly. Use your time wisely, and remember that professionalism is still a must. Your resume and cover letter should reflect all that your talk-off presents, your skills and ability to satisfy the organization's needs. Therefore, an elevator pitch is essential to your job search. It describes in 1 to 3 minutes your valuable assets and can be used at networking events, meetings, parties, seminars, workshops, or job fairs. So, after your elevator pitch has worked and in return have captured an interview or meeting and you are asked, "What is it that you can do for my company?" we know you will be fully prepared. Creating an elevator pitch is just one of many valuable job search tools to help get your foot in the door and finally noticed or hired. I have included 10 things that can assist with your creating an effective and successful elevator pitch by use of social media and knowing your value. 1. A 30-second elevator pitch needs to briefly and creatively consist of the following answers to the following bullets. Who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? Why should I hire you? How can I contact you? According to jobsdb.com, located at the website my.jobsdb.com, to build and create your elevator speech or elevator pitch, you should write down your accomplishments, describe them, narrow down, analyze that, what you have written down, highlight yourself, closing pitch, read out loud, practice, 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 master your key points, deliver with confidence. This site has also listed an example of an elevator speech below for both a new graduate and an experienced worker. A recent graduate. Hello, my name is Robert Wong. I will be receiving my MS in Finance this May from ABC University, where I have gained a strong foundation in quantitative and analytical skills. I'm currently seeking an auditor position in this area. Could you tell me about what kinds of skills and experience your firm is looking for in its auditors? An experienced worker. Hi, my name is June Chang. My work experience is in public relations and in customer relationship management. I have an MS in Marketing Communications from XYZ University. During my career, I've worked in both small businesses and in a global ad agency. I'm extremely interested in the consulting field and am exploring how I might use my education and skills in a consulting firm. Could I talk to you sometime about your experience working for firm Y? 2. Microsoft has elevator pitch templates that you can download. After entering the required personal brand information into the templates, I recommend that you tape yourself while practicing your speech using video or audio devices and apps with your smartphone, computer, or handheld recording devices. 3. Attending lots of job fairs, job interviews, and networking events and can't seem to conquer your fears of speaking in public? I found a few apps at the Google Play Store to help overcome fears of speaking in public. Fear of Public Speaking by Tina Sibley, Elevator Pitch by appmachine.com, and ePitch Lite by The App Guys. This app has both a free and upgrade version. 4. Use your webcam, camcorder, or voice recorder installed on your computer or your smartphone to practice your elevator pitch and interview techniques. Pay close attention to facial expressions, eye contact, and the tone and flow of your speech. 5. Create a user account at YouTube to create and post a timed elevator pitch. Remember to create the post as it relates to the job, position, or industry that you are attempting to attract. You can even create a brief elevator pitch to be used as a brief video resume with information to your email, social media network, or URL links. 6. Best Audio Reminder by Exaltair Technologies is another downloadable app. It can be found at both Google Play Store and Apple Store. It has both a light version and an upgrade. What's unique about this app is that it has a voice recorder, you can record your elevator speech, an alarm reminder, text-to-speech capabilities, and an event reminder to schedule interviews or business meetings. 7. Use PowerPoint to create a quick elevator pitch and upload it as a post with a link to Facebook. Then tweet the link to your followers or DM to specific companies at Twitter. You can also upload your PowerPoint-driven elevator pitch to your LinkedIn account by sharing the upload or posting its link. You can even upload the PowerPoint slide to YouTube. 8. Hire a resume or career coach to assess your needs for an elevator pitch. It is a sales pitch. A professional will be able to provide this tool as an addition to other job search marketing tool services. Search online for career centers or universities' business departments to obtain assistance with your elevator pitch project. 9. Send your elevator pitch as an electronic or hard copy business card or in an electronic newsletter or email. Search online for electronic newsletters and an email account subscription, such as Constant Contact. Then send them out to your contacts and hiring managers. There are apps that have electronic business cards like ScanBiz Card Premiums by ScanBiz Mobile Solutions. It is not a free app, but it has 5 stars. And Business Card Reader Lite by Abby Software House. Be crafty and brief. Stay professional, but think outside the box and differentiate yourself when it comes to your job search. 10. Use Microsoft newsletter templates. Include your elevator pitch. Add a QR code into it. Email or pass out at job fairs and other networking events. Choose professional, creative, and effective modes of distribution to get your documents seen and noticed. If you are between jobs or want to earn money in your profession, there are opportunities as a freelancer through online websites. You can create an account or profile and distribute your resume to sites of your choice. I have received work from Odesk and have written resumes from clients as far as India with work contracts from New York, California, and Florida. Here is a list of more freelance websites. You can check for downloadable apps from Odesk, Elance, Guru, iFreelance, ProBlogger Job Board, Rent-A-Coder, 99 Design and Journalism Jobs. There are hundreds of freelance websites. Freelancer Union, founded by Sarah Horowitz at www.freelancerunion.org, is a union for contractual and freelance workers. The organization provides industry trends, information, news, contract negotiation templates, legal advice, and a job board as some of its website services. If you are a contractor or freelancer, no matter what industry, you might want to find out what it has to offer and join. Chapter 8. 10 Steps to Consider When Distributing Your Job Search Marketing Tools. How you distribute your resume, cover letter, reference sheet, thank you and follow-up letter, and other job search marketing tools is just as important to your job search as it is to create them. Hiring managers are demanding that your resume and cover letter be forwarded to them how they request. Not sending it to them the approved way can cost you an interview and a job. The Internet has increased the modes of communication with instantaneous receipt of mail, letters, comments, replies, requests, information, money, or acceptance. So it's no wonder the significance of the receipt of a resume and cover letter submitted by a hiring manager. Your job search marketing documents received by email online can be requested to be received in Word doc, PDF, ASCII, RTF, or other file formats. Knowing which format to create and all of the modes of distribution will increase your possibility of employment. However, your job is to get your resume out of your hands and into the hands of the decision maker. How well and how often your job search marketing documents are distributed is determined by the effort you put forth. It increases your chances of getting the attention you want, landing an interview, and getting hired. Check with your resume writer or career coach to see if he or she offers resume distribution services, or if she can recommend a distribution service to you. When using someone else to distribute your resume and cover letter, make sure to get proof of what, when, where, how, and to whom the documents were sent. Compiled for you are 10 ways to successfully distribute your job search marketing tools. 1. If you have not already, establish an email account, because in today's digital age you need one. Do so immediately. Job searching is a business, and getting hired is your job. It's your responsibility to be prepared, up to date, and aware of innovation. You can create an email account at Yahoo, AOL, Gmail, Bing, or other internet providers for free, or at a cost to you to receive or send email. You can also find many apps at Google Play Store and Apple Store to receive your email. Hiring managers communicate in this way, and having the ability to submit emails at the push of a button can save you and the employer money, time, and gas. Remember, do not use unprofessional email names as your email address. hotlilmama at Gmail or bigmanpapabear at yahoo.com would not be considered professional, but a turnoff, and could result in your resume being rejected or tossed. 2. You can organize and schedule your daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly events with an app for your smartphone or computer download such as Outlook. It is a calendar to store and edit both your professional and personal contacts and schedules. You can enter job interview times, dates, hiring manager information, address, company name, job fairs, networking events, and other important noteworthy information. You can also document your job search marketing tools distribution, follow-up, and feedback. You can also set reminders and alarms to help make your job search easier. Try merging your LinkedIn, Yahoo, Facebook, and other accounts to your smartphone or computer's address book. 3. Office Suite is an app available at both the Apple Store and Google Play Store. It is created to help you upload different formats of documents to your phone, such as PDF, ASCII, Word doc, or RTF, to name a few. Your resume and cover letter and other job search marketing tools can be sent by fax or email from your smartphone in a second's moment. Be careful how you are required to submit documents in the format in which the hiring manager requests it. You never know what software he or she is using and the reason for the specific request, but the main format submissions are PDF and Word doc formats. 4. You can also send a video resume to hiring managers. There are companies that can create, edit, and upload your video resume to a URL address, and you, in return, are able to give the URL to a hiring manager to review for employment consideration. You can add the URL in your email, cover letter, networking cards, networking resumes, and other creative modes of resume distribution. This type of distribution is widely used in the entertainment, media, newscasting, and more eclectic job titles. 5. Hiring managers and recruiters are now conducting video interviews via the Internet. SparkHire at www.sparkhire.com is an online company that allows an employer to screen, evaluate, and conduct a job interview with you after you have provided them with a link directing them to your profile page. As a job seeker, you would share a private link to your profile created at sparkhire.com. SparkHire is both a job candidate and employer interactive platform. They are definitely making use of social media technology while reducing time and costs of in-person job interviews. 6. You can attend a meeting, business development call, virtual event, conference calls, or whatever you choose with anyone you want by downloading apps such as Skype, Speak, AnyMeeting, or Ring Central Office to your smartphone or computer. 7. QR codes, including those created by QR Droid, is another mode of distribution for your resume and cover letter. This downloadable smartphone and computer app is also available at Google Play and Apple Store. You can create a QR code to send your stored resume, cover letter, reference sheet, professional portfolio, or video resume to a hiring manager. You can also use it on your resume, cover letter, business cards, networking cards, and resumes, allowing others to access an electronic version of your job search document's personal brand. You can also use the app to scan employer, educational, or other related job search information. 8. Owning a wireless 3-in-1 printer, fax machine included, can be a big advantage to your job search. Today's printers have downloadable apps that transmit information to and from your smartphone or computer. Find out your printer brand name and model number to download the correct app or software. HP, Brother, Epson, and Lexmark, etc. all have apps for wireless and remote printing and faxing. Having a printer can allow you to send or receive faxes quicker than hand delivery or snail mail. You can print copies with your smartphone app. You can edit, view, and create depending on the upgrade of the app. 9. Contact executive recruiting firms, temporary agencies, or staffing agencies in your local or relocating area. They can be your middleman to successfully finding you temporary, permanent, seasonal, or contractual employment or work assignments. These agencies have already established a business relationship to locate the best talent for a hiring organization. Using staffing firms as a way to locate employment should never be viewed in a negative way, even when you are on assignment. Take a positive approach and remember that obtaining employment by way of a third party can locate paid employment and paid employee benefits in your industry quicker than you can. You can accomplish a lot, including financial stability and additional work experience to add to your resume. 10. eFax Mobile Phone Fax by J2 Global Incorporated, FaxFile by Actual Software Inc., and Virtual Phone System by COA Network Inc. are all electronic fax systems apps from both the Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can set up the electronic fax, smartphone, or computer downloadable apps to send and receive information, eliminating the need to leave the comfort of your home. To establish and accomplish a successful job search by use of the Internet and social media, you will need a high-speed Internet connection, printer, scanner, fax machine, and a smartphone, tablet, laptop, or computer, word processor software, pen and paper, and an open, positive mind. Chapter 9. 10 social media networks and sites to consider for use throughout your job search. Social media and the Internet. Either you're with it or you're not. Not being with it during your job search could cost you a competitive advantage. Yes, having a smartphone, having the Internet, and any other type of computer system or digital device increases your ability to obtain employment, obtain the right information, and increases your knowledge. The Internet is where at least 50% of employers, hiring managers, and other hiring personnel have taken their recruitment and hiring efforts. And because employers are performing social media, job market, recruitment tasks by searching online, they are determined to hire only those individuals who possess and are able to interpret this knowledge and information on paper, in person, and ultimately performing said duties at work. Find out where the decision makers blog, tweet, chat, or network. Pay attention to what, when, why, how, and where they post job leads. Engage in online community chats. Attend virtual and in-person networking events for recruitment purposes. Search and register to attend virtual job fairs. The Internet is buzzing with employers' websites, hiring managers' blogs, and their very visible social media network hangout spots. What was once a secret, where to find the person that makes the hiring decision, is no longer one. Exploring these sites that you may or may not be aware of after reading this book will become useful. Why? Because every website administrator knows that online content is king. So, as we speak, information is constantly added for everyone's cranium or brain to interpret and utilize. To this I say, go yonder into the great Internet universe and seek, find, and explore. I have located 10 sites that could enhance your social media job search and help you to increase your job seeker's competitive advantage. 1. Am I wrong for saying Google everything? I hope not. With any search engine, you can type in your subject phrase, exactly as you think of it, within the address bar and attempt to search. You can search for employers, job titles, navigation maps, or salary information. The goal is to find the information that you are looking for, the information that needs further research. Search engines including Google, MSN, Bing, and Chrome are not ranked in this book, and many will be left out because there is just not enough space to include each and every one. 2. LinkedIn is a site for professionals who are either hiring managers, employers, and employed or unemployed individuals or job seekers of every job title, educational background, and business. Nearly every industry is represented at this site. There are job boards and plenty of articles, blogs, and great industry news and information posted. It is informative with ebooks, PowerPoint, and other media presentations, networking events, job fairs, a market of services and products offered, and services and products needed. Visit www.linkedin.com to see what the site is about and if it has the information that you care about. The LinkedIn network connects across the world. 3. Twitter is the hotspot for information, all kinds of information. You'll find big and small companies, celebrities, and everyday people stretched from America coast to coast and globally throughout the world, tweeting and posting information every second of the day and night. Companies, hiring managers, and their employees hang out at Twitter. They sell and search for products and services, and they scout for you, the job seeker. You can find plenty of coupons, discounts, and new product information. Hiring managers post jobs, provide job descriptions, information about their company, and search for and research the profiles of possible job candidates. You can visit Twitter by logging in to www.twitter.com and creating an account to follow and accept follows from people and companies of your choice. You'll find job openings and other career development information tweeted by hiring managers, temporary agencies, recruiters, headhunters, employers, and anyone searching for job seekers. There are job board companies that tweet job leads and other job search information from Twitter. Take a look at these companies by creating an account and explore and retain the information that you care about. 4. Facebook at www.facebook.com provides a common area where everyday people hang out, socializing with family and friends and anyone else you wish to add to your network. This site is where strategic companies search for people to buy their products and services, where advertisement and job information is passed along by people who are also searching for what is best for them. Be very careful of your interactions and the content that your profile presents. Hiring managers search networking sites to accept or reject an individual based on what you reveal or expose on your personal page. So, make the best of your social media job search. 5. There are thousands of job boards on the internet created by hiring managers, temporary agencies, recruiters, headhunters, and employers to post job openings. They are measured according to ease of use, performance by the amount of traffic to the website, the user-friendly navigation, features, help, and support, and the ability to locate viable employment in your region. Try this up-and-coming job board, Employment Crossing, to post your next resume and view more job leads. I have also researched 15 additional social media job sites listed by www.ebizmba.com. Here is who they mentioned as top 15 online job boards: Monster.com, CareerBuilder.com, Indeed.com, SimplyHired.com, Glassdoor.com, AOL Find a Job, Snagajob.com, USAJobs.com, Job.com, Beyond.com, TheLadders.com, Dice.com, FindTheRightJob.com, ZipRecruiter.com, and Bright.com. Take a look, apply, and keep searching for more information. eBiz/MBA 2013. 6. There are also niche websites listed at ebizmba.com to get you to the job board of careers that list jobs and information specific to your job title and industry. There are apps for free or at cost at Google Play Store and Apple Store for niche jobs such as executive jobs, security guard jobs, nursing jobs, or management jobs. Take a look at each store and see what you can find. 7. Employers also create company websites where they list job openings for you to submit an online application and upload a resume and cover letter to apply to a job opening. Check out the online website of your choice by searching for company names. 8. Google Play Store and Apple Store both have apps for sale or downloadable to your smartphone or computer for free, created by employers, staffing and temporary work agencies, and other companies, including Robert Half, Adecco, and Office Team, to name a few. These apps allow you to create an account and view job openings from your smartphone or computer. Many apps have links to the site or allow you to apply to a job opening using the app. 9. Utilize navigation apps like MapQuest with GPS navigation to get you walking, bus, and driving directions to your job interview. 10. I found a few more apps at Google Play Store. Again, some are free and some cost to download or upgrade for greater function and performance. Social Media Job Search, Ready Job Interview Prep by Powers App, Career Planning Madness by AppBuzz, and My Class Assistant by Cray Logic. This is just my selection from thousands of other apps, developers, and stores. Apps are ranked by stars with a possible ranking of 1 to 5 stars. There are also reviews from users to let you know what the app's performance flaws and praises are. Check to see what apps and downloads are compatible with your smartphone or computer. Check out Google Play Store and Apple Store to locate job sites and career apps. Social Bro, www.socialbro.com. Market Me Suite, www.marketmesuite.com. Buffer, www.buffer.com. And Hootsuite, www.hootsuite.com, are all platforms created to host all of your social media network accounts within one central location. LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter can all be viewed, updated, friend, and tweeted from. Send and receive pictures and images. You can arrange settings to follow specific keywords, careers, hashtags, jobs, profiles, at Office Team, or accounts, boss resumes. Chapter 10. 10 Steps to Consider After Interviewing with a Hiring Manager. You drove an intense job search armed with a freshly created or revamped resume. Your fine-tuned interview skills were utilized most recently for several interviews, and you want to know if you were the job candidate that outshined the others, or if you were even placed in the pile for a second interview or a telephone interview. Ever wonder what it is that you need to do after interviewing with a hiring manager, especially in this new social media job search hemisphere? I have compiled 10 steps that you should consider to find out if you are the winning candidate selected for hire, while reminding the hiring manager who you are and what stood out about you during the interview. In today's job search arena, hiring managers are more visible today than prior years before. It was unheard of unless you had connections, recommendations by friends or family, a referral for hire, to contact or overzealously do what is considered taboo, bugging the hiring manager to get hired. Now, because of an immense thrust, full force into digital technology, and the presentation of information in person or by internet through both social media and face-to-face networking, you have more of a chance to locate the hiring manager's profile on LinkedIn, at other social media networks, a company's website, or at many commonly posted networking events. Knowing where to locate this information and what to do with it without harming your chances of getting the job position can give you a huge opportunity to be considered a job candidate, eventually to get hired. Here are 10 steps that can help you become the main target of a hiring manager. 1. You should already have a prepared resume, cover letter, and other job search marketing tools with a professional, creative touch. A follow-up or thank you letter should also be creative and a standout reminder of you and your valuable knowledge, skills, abilities, experiences, achievements, qualifications, and education. 2. Employers are looking for information. After all, we have entered into an information and knowledge era. How will a hiring manager, employer, employment agency, or headhunter know how much information you have? You tell them on your resume and cover letter. You appropriately tell them in the interview. You strategically tell them in post-interview letters about the information, knowledge, skills, and experiences that you possess. 3. If you interview with a hiring manager, you should definitely know the hiring manager's name, title, department, and the address to the company. Knowing this information and utilizing it during your job search is essential to getting hired. 4. Create a thank you letter thanking the interviewer for his or her time. Briefly discuss in the letter what skills you bring to the table and that you look forward to hearing from and working with the organization. Do remember to personalize the letter to any standout discussions of your knowledge, skills, abilities, or experiences that were discussed or not discussed in the interview. Mail it out the next day. 5. Create a follow-up letter within 3 days of your interview. If you mail it off sooner, that's okay too. Use this time to remind the employer of who you are and about information discussed in the interview. Take this time to answer questions that you could not answer in the interview. Stick to the ability to add quality to previous job performances and how you can transition these dynamic skills to their company. 6. Do ask about the hiring manager's day or well-being in the letter and your unshaken interest in working with the company now or in the future. 7. You can inquire about current and future openings, reminding the hiring manager that you are qualified and indeed interested in performing. 8. Briefly discuss in follow-up and thank you letters about your profitable networking portfolio, Outlook contacts, or Rolodex that consist of strategic partnerships and relationships with businesses that you have developed throughout your career. 9. Briefly discuss your track record, your record of achievements and qualifications. 10. Know who you are. Know your value and the value of the employment assets. Know how to market your entire job search from beginning to end. And most of all, know how to negotiate both visible and hidden skills, those that no one can see. That was easy, right? It can be with confidence in all the steps taken into consideration. There is an abundance of information in the world. Utilize it and apply it strategically to your job search to obtain the goal of being the targeted candidate and the only candidate to be selected for the open position. Complete a degree program. Attend continuing education courses, seminars, and workshops. Enroll in a trade program. Enlighten your talents and grow your ability to negotiate your value. Bonus chapter. Continued education and training is a personal decision that all job seekers, at one point or another, reflect upon and make a decision to complete. Enrollment in a learning course to obtain additional knowledge and skills can produce phenomenally rewarding results. Finding the right certification, diploma, or degree course may be what you need to build and encourage your self-esteem. Gaining more knowledge and skills for a job allows you to get compensated for the type of work and the skills performed. It makes you qualified to speak on related subjects and allows you to perform the duties from your education and training. Some job seekers are able to return back to school and get a higher education or additional training, while others are not as fortunate. Many job seekers have paid training as one of many benefits awarded them at hiring. Others need grants, scholarships, and loans to pay for continuing education courses, training, workshops, and seminars. With the use of the Internet, class courses and training programs have now been added as an online service. Universities and training facilities, both private and public, have made it possible for anyone upon enrollment and approval to attend classes and get an education in the convenience of their own home or wherever a tablet, laptop, or smartphone takes you. Check the Internet for colleges, universities, and training schools for their credibility and accreditation. As a bonus, I have included several websites that I believe to have awesome quality in both website and curriculum presentation and accreditation posting. 1. I love this site, and I love the fact that this is a training opportunity to get certified as a forklift operator driver. This site is utilized by Fortune 500 employers, employees, and private students in need of forklift training and certification. Forklift Training Academy is visible on the web at www.forklifttrainingacademy.com. You can download a PDF or Word doc version of the course for free, but the certification is at an extremely affordable cost. Not everyone can or wants to be an executive, and not everyone can or wants to be a forklift driver, but the information for the certification course can certainly be shared and utilized by anyone. 2. Since I don't have a bullhorn to announce its existence, I'll just use this book. This next website, Coursera, is located at www.coursera.org. Who wouldn't want to take courses with some of the most prestigious colleges between and beyond our nation's coasts? You will have to look over the colleges and universities giving the courses to locate course descriptions and requirements, curriculum, and other information. Some of the courses are for credit and others are not. Some courses give certificates while others do not. Minds are like parachutes. They only function when they are open. James Dewar, 1842 through 1923, Scottish physicist. Conclusion. Like never before, the baby boomer, Generation X, and millennial job seeker have a huge obligation to learn all and perform all that he or she can by use of digital technology and social media. Exercising the ability to create a life-changing job search plan seems to be an unwanted plan that takes us away from what we once knew, and with some, what was never known or experienced. It goes with the generational territory. Considering the change in economic events, we have all had to learn new things, accept new things, and execute new things. Business creation, marketing, and production has changed. A consumer's need and use of a product or service has changed, and the way a job seeker searches and finds employment has changed. A business bouncing back after record losses must strategize. A consumer must now budget to get the things that he or she needs and wants. And the job seeker must learn a new way to maneuver and accomplish getting employment. All may or may not be prepared, but must. It is life. Life is to be appreciated despite our ups and downs. Share this book's motivation and the author's perception with someone who needs it. We all need it. A different perspective. Different perspectives are good. It creates dialogue and conversation, and often help and assistance. I hope that this book is something that fulfills your job search needs. If you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Please forward an email to me at bossresumes@yahoo.com. This has been 101 Strategic Job Search Marketing Steps, the helpful checklist guide to all things considered workforce readiness and social media smart. Written by Lenora M. Johnson, CPRW. Narrated by Caroline Miller. Copyright 2013 by Lenora M. Johnson, CPRW. Production copyright 2014 by Lenora M. Johnson, CPRW.